5.
How about a magic trick?
4.
Stay on target.
3.
Fast
2.
I am the hope of the universe.
1.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Next up, moving on to video game news. Angel, what do you got for us for video game news this week?
All right, kicking it off with video game news. After Nintendo fiscal year policy briefing, Nintendo has announced that they have games coming out in 2019 that aren't announced.
Hold on, what? How are you going to announce games that aren't announced?
So they didn't specifically state, all right, we've got all these games. They just kind of mentioned that there's some unannounced games
Okay.
that they're aiming to release in 2019, but we don't know what they are.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, that's what makes them unannounced.
How about you just release the entire slate of NES and SNES games for purchase? Boom, done.
That'd be super awesome. Moving on. Former Telltale developers have opened up a new studio called ADHOC. Possibly some new Telltale-esque video games coming in the future.
For in general or a specific console?
In general.
Okay, okay.
Next up, Vogue Roberts, director of the future Metal Gear Solid film, has played Death Stranding, and he loves it. Although he did say that he's getting a lot, it's very reminiscent of Mad Max Fury Road for him, he said. Now, I don't know if, he didn't really state in what sense, but I imagine it's just kind of the way the game feels.
Right. This is hard to comment on because we still don't know what the hell this game is about.
Still have no idea what this game is about. Weird babies, goo wizards, Norman Reedus.
And alien or monster type creatures after him.
Don't know what to tell you there. But apparently it's good. Next up, the Division 2 beta has been crashing.
This isn't good.
Two biggest complaints are that the client will crash after playing it for certain lengths of time. The studio has assured that if you reset it every 2 to 3 hours or so, you should keep this from happening. Like, you don't have to worry about the client crashing at all. And there apparently is also a client crashing bug to where if you're playing the game and you send an invite to somebody who isn't playing the game, the client will immediately crash for that person trying to get in.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they state that you should try and be in the game 100%, inside the client, functioning at 100% before accepting any request.
Oh, wow.
All right, next up, there's apparently a new Yu-Gi-Oh game that is coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Whether it is strictly like card-playing game, like I don't know if they're going to try and do a card-playing game like Hearthstone, or if they're going to do like Gwyn, or I forget what the other one is for.
What if they made it where you're playing as Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, it would still be a card-playing game, because they have made games like that in the past. I remember I used to have one for my Game Boy Advanced, where you would collect various cards and build decks and whatnot. So I think they're going to go the online card-playing route. That would be the smart move, in my opinion.
Okay.
Next up, the PS5 will be a high-end console, but the studio says it may be less than $500. Or at least an analyst states
that it will be less than $500.
But I mean, at that point, I just might buy a PC.
Granted, $500 is what the price was when the PS4 came out. So
PS3 actually.
No, PS4 as well.
PS4 was always $300.
Was it?
Yes, because that was the appeal.
Oh.
I believe the original Xbox One was $500 or so. I know it was more expensive, which is why the PS4 was really appealing, because they said it was $300 flat. But yeah, $500 is kind of a big jump. They haven't sold or tried to sell the console that high since the PlayStation 3,
which they stopped making games on already.
Which they stopped making games on, and they eventually went back, like they dropped the price for the PlayStation 3. So this will be the first $500 console for PlayStation in a while.
PlayStation 5, $500. Let's see. That less than pretty much means like $489.99.
Yeah, pretty much. We have yet to see whether or not it's worth $500, but
Right, backwards compatibility though. We're gonna get backwards compatibility.
I have everything compatibility if I buy a PC. So,
Next up, moving on to Pokemon Go news. Pokemon Go's Niantic, the company that owns Pokemon Go, pretty much hammers down on spoofing, and they have big plans to be able to stop spoofing before Niantic's Wizarding World gets out, because apparently they had a big meeting with all the major Pokemon Go YouTubers. You know,
Okay.
we're talking Trainer Tips, we're talking Pokemaster Holly, Mystic 7, all those big ones. And they all came together just to help out Niantic come up with ideas to stop spoofers. And one of the ways is that they're talking about is registering your game to your device, which will stop people from sharing accounts. So if you log into a game, you have to register the game that you're playing on your device, so only your device is able to play that game. That would be able to stop people from sharing accounts.
Okay.
That kind of sucks, because if you end up breaking your phone or you end up getting a new one, you have to call a 1-800 number to get your game reassessed to this new phone.
That does blow.
So that
Plus,
part kind of sucks.
In this current society we live in, people replace their phones left and right, you know?
Right. So I don't know if this is a smart idea that if they implement will have a lot of backlash. Number 2, they're still planning to coming out with some sort of social media outlet within Pokemon Go, so you can be able to message your friends back and forth within the game itself, which is still pretty cool.
I mean, it's called texting, but whatever.
Right. But let's say, you know, you made friends with someone over the internet you ended up sharing your codes with. You could still message each other through that. Or maybe through the game you could be able to put out and be like, hey, there's a gym over here, and it will send out to all your friends as like a massive text thing.
Oh, yeah, that would be
for
kinda
anybody
cool,
who's
actually.
playing the game, so they'll be able to meet you at that location.
Yeah.
Trying to entice people to get together more. And another thing they're actually going on to be able to stop spoofers in general is that they're going to start issuing out what they're calling black bands.
Ooh, racist.
And black bands in Pokemon Go, you know, we have the shadow bands where you can still play the game, but you won't pick up any rare spawns. Black bands, pretty much, you can play the game, but you won't be able to pick up any Pokemon at all.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and then they're also pushing out where you can get yearly bans if you're caught multiple times.
Holy crap.
Yes.
Wow.
That sucks.
That does suck.
So apparently it goes from 1 week to a month to a year. Doesn't even give that 3-month spot anymore.
Yeah, that's... Damn.
It's just a game, people.
It's just a game. People take games seriously. Welcome to the 21st century.
Well, talk about a game people are taking seriously. Let's talk about, 10 million serious players.
Yeah, so Apex Legends. First and foremost, there is talks of crossplay coming in the future.
Oh, yes, there better be. There better be.
So the lead producers say that they have plans on allowing people to play with their friends regardless of what consoles they own. Whether or not it's going to be full crossplay or just the partial crossplay that seems to be pretty popular these days with the...
Yeah.
have yet to find out, but the fact that they are going to allow something like this, like they're building it into the game to be able to do this, is pretty cool.
Oh, really? They're doing it from the start. It's not the console developers themselves saying, hey, we should do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as Chris was saying, Apex Legends has reached 10 million plus players with at the very least 1 million concurrent players.
So over 10 million people have downloaded and played this game, and on an average of 1 million players play at once.
Yeah, which, funny enough,
Damn.
Respawn Entertainment, the creators of Apex Legends, were actually really surprised that this many people are playing their game.
I kind of knew this wasn't a big thing.
I mean, it's a battle royale game,
Yeah.
first and foremost, so people got to get on the battle royale grind, but it's just a really good game altogether. But yeah, Chris, we want to do a Apex Legends review.
Yes, we'll go ahead and do a full breakdown review and overall thoughts, because Apex Legends is something I put in a couple hours in. Angel, you put a lot more than just a couple hours into this game already.
I've definitely played at least 24 hours or so.
And as much of a first-person shooter dislike fan I am, I really enjoy this game, actually. It's actually pretty fast-paced, as you expect from a Battle Royale game.
Or from a first-person FPS in general.
Right. And I think what really makes this game is its character selection right now.
Yeah, and so Apex Legends in itself is interesting because they started building this game on the rise of the Battle Royale. So before Fortnite, actually, I think PUBG had just come out when they decided they wanted to make this game.
Uh-huh.
And so it's been in development since the very beginning of the Battle Royale.
Oh, no shit.
Rise, I guess I will say.
Uh-huh.
So they've kind of seen and developed around the things people like about all the different Battle Royale games. But yeah, Chris is right in the sense that its characters are the most interesting parts about it. In a lot of popular Battle Royale games, you don't get to pick the kind of... It's not really class-based. So the popular ones that have come out like that are probably more like... I think the only one that really does it like that is Blackout, which is the Call of Duty Black Ops one.
Right.
Where you get your heroes or whatever. I forget what they call them. But this, it plays like a more classic PUBG or H1Z1. Like, it's more grounded in its mechanics as an FPS.
Right, but at the same time, it has its fantasy element, so you get the same feels as if you were playing Halo with it, even.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who really enjoys Titanfall, which is Respawn's first game, this is the same universe.
It is the same universe?
They officially announced that it's the exact same universe, and as a matter of fact, it's 30 years in the future from Titanfall 2.
Oh, no way. I didn't know.
And each character has their own backstory, actually, which the game will initially tell you. I had to learn about it on YouTube, but they do have backstories for each and every one of these characters. And so I think it's interesting because the way I think about this game is it's like Overwatch, PUBG, and Blackout kind of came together in one commodity. In mechanics, kind of just science fiction, fantasy elements, and the way it's designed. Because I feel like the loot system, the way you pick up gear and whatnot, is very reminiscent of PUBG.
Yeah, to me, I get a little sense of how I explained it last week. More of like the Halo meets Call of Duty all in one on this. But with kind of an Overwatch perspective.
Yeah.
Because of the character selection.
The characters feel a lot more like designed and developed like Overwatch characters, whereas the whole system is grounded in selecting those classes, these heroes, like in Blackout. It's very fun. It's sort of fast-paced, but it's not really fast-paced because there will be times where you don't interact with a single person, but a lot of the time you should be running into other squads. By the way, this is a squad-based game. 100% of the time you are always broken into squads of 3 in a game of 60 players. It's not 100 players like most Battle Royale games. Whether or not they will change that in the future,
I'm pretty sure they'll change it. There'll be other options for that, I'm sure. But this trio things I really kind of like. I think this is for just the general, just for people to pretty much get their feet wet with this game at the moment.
I actually think I prefer it that way. I don't know if I'd want it to be. I'd ever want to play single player Apex Legends.
The reason why I would agree with that is because I think too many people would choose a single character too often. You don't want to have too many of a certain character.
It's nice building, it's nice finding ways to work together with friends and even just randoms based off of the type of characters they pick.
Because each character has their own specific ability and what they're capable of. For example, let's go ahead and start with the medic.
All right, Lifeline. Yeah.
All right, Lifeline is your medic. She's actually very smart to be able to have as part of the team in any way, shape, or form. Basically, her special ability is to be able to heal everybody in the group at once.
Yeah, so she throws down like a little healing droid type thing, and it'll just attach itself to you while it's up, and it'll heal you for as long as you're standing next to it and it's up.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also provide a shield for anybody that's been downed. So
Right.
if somebody's down, you lay it down, and it gives you a shield. You can pick them up. They get healed a bit, and that's pretty cool. And her ultimate ability is to call down a care package, which will always have gear in it.
Right.
Usually, at the very least, rare gear, but just kind of random gear.
You know, at least I think it's almost a guarantee that it'll at least have some medical gear in there.
Yeah, and there are currently 8 characters. You got Bangalore, Bloodhound, Caustic, Gibraltar, Wraith, Pathfinder, Mirage, and Lifeline. I believe they are going to add more characters as it goes along.
Yes.
But right now there are only 8, and really there's only 6 because 2 are locked at the beginning, which I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but based off of the people that I've played with, it's Mirage and Caustic that are always locked.
They're always locked. And Mirage is pretty good if you're able to unlock him because he actually has the ability to send out like duplicates of himself.
Yeah, he can create decoys and turn invisible.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder's got grappling hooks, so he can just kind of grappling hook across the map or create zip lines. Wraith can, I wouldn't really call it teleporting. It's more
portaling,
like phasing in and out of existence, I guess, because the way they explain it is that she slips into like another dimension, but you yourself are just kind of moving while nobody else can really make out or damage you.
Okay.
And then you can create a portal, like you just drop one thing and then you move across the map, drop another thing, and it creates a portal from A to B. Gibraltar's more of your tank type class. He can create a shield while he's shooting. He can also drop a shield to defend, and he does an airstrike. Caustic is your AoE, kind of like, he's better in close quarters type. He can drop like Nox, I think it's called Nox gas, which is noxious gas that kind of does AoE damage to enemies. Bloodhound is your he's probably the easiest one to use because his moveset makes it really easy to track people. His passive allows you to see footprints, and his ability is to like send a beacon out that'll tag nearby enemies. And then his ultimate will allow you to go into like this frenzy mode, which makes you faster, and it'll highlight enemies in red. I'd say he's probably the easiest one to use. And Bangalore's probably the second easiest in the fact that she's more of your basic kind of FPS person. She throws smoke bombs, and if she gets shot at, she takes less damage and she moves faster. And her ultimate is also an airstrike, but Gibraltar's is like it's like a circle. It'll throw around in a certain area, whereas hers is a straight line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was the exact same thing.
No.
Okay.
No. And regardless of what any of you know or believe, the devs have gone on record to state they all run the same speed. So.
Okay. Overall, what's your favorite character, and what do you think of the overall game so far?
Okay. So, I like Mirage's personality, but I haven't unlocked him yet. So, my favorite is Pathfinder. He's funny. There's something charming about a robot with a positive outlook on life. And I don't know, I just find myself I just mess around with these zip lines a lot. Plus, I've also found opportunities where I'm getting kind of good at planning zip lines to get to the enemy and kind of outflank them on certain occasions. Plus, I like his passive. His passive allows him to connect to these kind of beacon things that'll show you where the next circle is going to be. So you can kind of plan your trips accordingly. So that's my favorite one, hands down right now.
That totally fits your personality because mine's Wraith.
But I can't wait for Mirage. So I think my thing is I like the characters that are funny.
Yes, I totally see that.
But overall, the game's really fun. I feel like it definitely has the potential of longevity and may even last longer than a lot of the other Battle Royale games, I feel. Just because it's got it's got like an interesting background and story element with those interesting Titanfall elements that people have come to love. The mechanics are interesting and the characters are solid.
I like the fact that you don't take any fall damage.
Yeah, not taking fall damage is fucking amazing. It's so annoying. I actually played Fortnite for a little while after playing Apex, and I was like, this is not as fun as Apex Legends. I will say my only gripes with the game are as follows. If you've never played Titanfall, it is kind of a big learning curve. It's different. It's really different from the way other FPSs kind of play. So I mean, if you play Titanfall, it's the exact same guns, there's a lot of abilities that are similar that carry over. And if you've played like a PUBG or anything, you're probably better off too because you're used to that sort of looting system where you're picking up armor and stuff. And I feel like the progression system doesn't take long, but I don't feel like most of your rewards should be locked within progression systems. I feel like you should be able to earn some of the things you earn in the progression system through like just being good at the game, like have them reward you for being a little good at the game.
Right.
Which in the end they reward you by giving you more XP.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you should at least be able to earn some legend points.
I agree.
Each game.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least you have the ability to earn some in-game currency that way.
But we'll see what happens. Other than that, I'm really excited to see this game prosper and continue to be good and see where it goes from here.
I like it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think this is going to last, a good while, especially since they opened the door with so much more to add as far as more characters and more gaming styles even. Maybe instead of trios, they open up team of 4, maybe duos even. Something like that would even make it very fun.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that they would really like a team deathmatch style thing.
Yes.
In this. I'm sure people would like duos a lot too. I definitely know one of the things I've heard a lot of people say playing is they want to see another map.
Yes, or at least expand it a little bit, I think. You know what else would be cool? Just a straight-up 8-man team.
Ooh, yeah, an 8-man team.
Yeah, or at least a 6-man team. A 6-man team, since not everybody can get the other 2, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But a 6-man team where every one of the characters are utilized in every point of time. That would be something I'd want to see and utilize.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Right? All right, well, that about does it for our Apex Legend review. Go play it. Go tell us what you think and have a good time with it.
I dig it.
Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Remember, you can always follow us online at mcvnetwork.com. Visit us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Multicomicverse. Angel, where can the folks find you?
As always, guys, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter using the username at Tenacious Angel. That is 31 instead of EL at the end of Angel.
Remember, guys, if you have anything you'd like us to review, have anything you'd like us to break down, have any geek debates you'd like us to settle, you can always email us directly at podcast@mcvnetwork.com. Visit me on Twitter. Use the hashtag MCVPodcast. I can reach your message that way. If you're watching on YouTube, just leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And what do you think? What's your most anticipated comic of this week? Have you played Apex? What do you think about it so far? What TV show are you watching? And have you seen any of the new trailers that come out? What movie are you most anticipated for this month? Comment below. Let us know. And until next time, may the force be with you.